Good afternoon. Welcome back. We shall be beginning today's discussion with strategic control and evaluation. Strategic control and evaluation. In governance, or let me say in governance terms, the purpose of strategic control and evaluation is to make sure that lower level managers, as the agents of top managers, are acting in a way that is consistent with the manager's goals, which should be to maximize the wealth of stakeholders, subject to legal and ethnic constraints. Organization structure does not, by itself, provide a set of incentives through which people can be motivated to make it work. Hence, there's a need for control systems. Strategic control systems are developed to measure performance at 4 levels in a company. They are the corporate, the divisional, the functional, and the individual. Strategic control involves the process of monitoring and regulating an organization's strategy to ensure that it aligns with its objectives and adapts to changes in the internal and external environment. It involves measuring performance, comparing it against predetermined standards, and making necessary adjustments to keep the organization on track. Strategic evaluation, on the other hand, is the systematic assessment of an organization's strategy to determine its effectiveness in achieving objectives. It involves analyzing the outcomes of strategic decisions and actions, identifying areas for improvement, and making informed adjustments to enhance overall performance. Strategic control system helps managers to obtain superior efficiency, quality, innovation, and responsiveness to customers, which are the 4 basic building blocks of competitive advantage. Strategic control helps managers to obtain superior efficiency, quality, innovation, and responsiveness to customers, which are the 4 basic building blocks of competitive advantage. They include one, control and efficiency. 2, control and quality. 3, control and innovation. 4. Control and responsiveness to customers. The control and efficiency is aimed to determine how efficiently they are using organizational resources. Managers must be able to measure accurately many units of inputs, it is raw materials, human resources, etc., being used to provide a unit of output. Control and quality. Today, competition often revolves around increasing the quality of goods and services. Strategic control is important in determining the quality of each company's products or goods and services, as it gives managers feedback on product quality. The control and innovation. It helps to raise the level of innovation in an organization. Successful innovation comes when managers create an organizational setting in which employees feel empowered to create and have authority, to decentralize employees so that they feel free to experiment and take risks. The control and responsiveness to customers talks about strategic managers can help make the organizations more responsive to customers. If they develop a control system that allows them to evaluate how well employees, which customers deal with, are performing their jobs, monitoring employees' behavior can also help managers to find ways to help increase employees' performance level. Strategic control systems are the formal target setting, measurement, and feedback systems that allow strategic managers to evaluate whether a company is achieving superior efficiency, quality, innovation in customers' responsiveness, and implementing its strategy successfully. We'd like to move to the objectives of strategic management, control, and evaluation. You have the performance measurement, you have the adaptation to change, resource allocation, alignment with objectives, feedback mechanism. The first one is performance measurement. Objectives of strategic management, control, and evaluation. One, performance measurement. Two, adaptation to change. Three, resource allocation. Four, Alignment with objectives. Five, feedback mechanism. Performance measurement. Let's talk about performance measurement. Here we evaluate the actual performance of the organization against planned objectives and benchmarks. You evaluate, you check, you find out how well the employees are doing as related to the actual performance expected compared to the planned objectives and benchmarks being set by the organization. 2. You have adaptation to change. Here you monitor the internal and external environment for changes and provide adjustments strategies accordingly where possible. The resource allocation talks about ensuring optimal allocation of resources to support strategic initiatives. And we have the alignment with objectives. We have to make sure that the mission and vision as well as long-term objectives are in line with the organization's strategy. So, as such, there is no form of deviation from the set targets and congruent goals. The feedback mechanism talks about establishing a feedback mechanism for continuous learning and improvement. Continuous learning and improvement by the organization. Next one is the types of strategic control systems. Types of strategic control system. You have the premise control, you have the strategic surveillance. And we also have the special alert control. For the premise control, we monitor assumptions about the external environment to ensure they remain valid. We monitor assumptions where possible about the external environment of a definite organization to ensure that they remain valid, they remain intact, untampered with. And the second one here is the implementation control. This talks about the assessment of progress of strategy implementation, including timelines, budgets, and resource allocation. We assess the level of progress as per the strategy implementation ongoing. This may include timelines being set, the turnaround time between so period and so period. We want to get this done, we want to achieve this and this, the budget and the resource allocation. The third is the strategic surveillance, the continuous monitoring of the internal and external environment for early signs of changes. There should be proper checks, all-round check by all and sundry especially the key factors, key departments in an organization, to ensure proper monitoring, continuous monitoring from time to time, day in, day out, regarding the internal and external environment for early signs of changes and applying corrective measures. We also have the special alert control. Here, implementation of control measures in response to unexpected events or crises. Should there be any form of uncertainty or things you don't expect, which may be normal at times, there are certain things, measures that will be put in place in response. It means you have to be proactive in response to or to mitigate against unexpected, unforeseen contingencies, events, or crises that may come up in the course of doing so. We have strategy evaluation. The purpose of strategy evaluation and control is to examine the effectiveness and efficiency of organizational strategy in achieving set goals and objectives. That's according to CASME 1995. Here, strategy evaluation involves assessing the overall effectiveness of an organization's strategies. In achieving its objectives, it includes examining both the outcomes and processes associated with the formulation and implementation of strategies. Therefore, organizational strategy evaluation and control may be seen as a process of determining effectiveness and efficiency of a given organizational strategy in achieving set organizational goals and objectives and taking corrective action when necessary. The final stage in strategic management process is to evaluate and control an organization's performance. Now, strategic evaluation is important because organizations face dynamic business environments in which major internal and external factors often change quickly and drastically. Strategic evaluation includes three activities. They include the reviewing basis of strategy or setting standards of organization performance, you measure organizational performance, you analyze deviations between standards, measures of performance, and you take corrective actions. The purpose of strategy evaluation and control is to examine the effectiveness and efficiency of organizational strategy in achieving set goals and objectives. Strategic evaluation, as rightly said, is important because organizations face dynamic business environment in which major internal and external factors often change quickly and drastically. Strategic evaluation includes activities as outlined below. We review basis of strategy or setting standards of organizations, measuring organizational performance, analyzing deviations between standards and measures of performance, and taking corrective actions. According to Blueck, according to Blueck 1980, the products of a business strategy evaluation are answers to these questions. The products of a business strategy evaluation are answers to these questions. Are the objectives of the business appropriate? Are the objectives of the business appropriate. 2. Are the major policies and plans appropriate? Are the major policies and plans appropriate? Third one, do the results obtained to date confirm? Confirm or refute? Refute critical assumptions. Critical assumptions on which the strategy rests. According to Glueck, 1980, the products of a business strategy evaluation are answers to these questions. The first one is, are the objectives of the business appropriate? The second is, are the major policies and plans appropriate? The third is, do the results obtained to date confirm or refute critical assumptions on the strategy rests? Now, we want to move to the steps of strategy evaluation and control process. One, determine what to control and evaluate. Two, set control and evaluation standards. Three, measure performance. Four, compare standards and performance. 5. Determine the reason for variations. Variations between performance and taking corrective action. These are the steps of strategy evaluation and control process. The first one is to determine what to control and evaluate. The second is to set control and evaluation standards. Third is to measure performance. The fourth is to compare standards and performance. And the fifth is to determine reason for variations between performance and taking corrective action. Here the material talks about 5 or 6. You should establish the criteria. 1. 2. You should measure performance. 3. You should compare results. 4. We should identify deviations. 5. We should take corrective actions. And 6. We should reassess strategies. Now, in establishing the criteria, we should define the criteria and standards against which strategy performance will be measured. In measuring performance, we collect relevant data to assess the actual performance of the organization. The third is to compare results. We compare the actual result with established criteria to identify variances. The fourth is to identify variations, where we determine the reasons for any deviations between planned and actual performance. The fifth is to take corrective action. We implement corrective actions to address identified issues and improve future performance. We also reassess the strategies periodically. We reassess the organization strategy in light of changing internal and external factors. And what are the benefits of strategy, evaluation, and control? One, it helps to, according to Albanese in 1978, organizations stand to gain the following from strategy, evaluation, and control. According to Albanese 1978, organizations stand to gain the following from strategy, evaluation, and control. They include 1. It helps to achieve objectives and goals. Two, it provides clear guidelines. Clear guidelines with respect to expected performance. Expected performance from personnel. The third one is direct energy because of employee performance towards expectation. Now all these are, according to Albanese in 1978, organizations stand to gain all this from strategy evaluation and control. Now, also for the purpose of this study, what are the benefits of strategy evaluation and control? First one here is that it improves performance, there is adaptability, there is efficiency in resource allocation, there is strategic alignment, there is enhanced decision making, organizational learning, risk management, and accountability. Shall take them one after the other. The improved performance helps identify areas for improvement, leading to enhanced overall organizational performance. It helps to identify areas where there needs to be an improvement. Let's work on this. We have tried, but we can improve on this, leading to enhanced overall organizational performance. Two is adaptability. It enables organizations to adapt to changing environments and circumstances. We all know that our environment is dynamic, it's prone to change. Anything can happen. As such, a good strategy, evaluation and control must incorporate adaptability in its modus operandi, whereby it enables organizations, companies, going concerns to adapt easily to changing environments and circumstances. We have efficiency in resource allocation. It ensures efficient allocation of resources to support strategic initiatives. And for strategic alignment, it verifies that strategies remain aligned with organizational goals and objectives. The enhanced decision making talks about provision of valuable insights for making informed decisions on strategy adjustments. The organizational learning establishes a culture of continuous learning and improvement within the organization. Risk management talks about helping in identifying and managing risks associated with strategic initiatives. Accountability promotes accountability by holding individuals and departments responsible for strategy execution. They should be held liable for playing a good role and be held accountable for otherwise. Essentially, strategic control and evaluation are integral components of the strategic management process, contributing to the effectiveness and sustainability of organizational strategies. Regular assessment and adjustments have helped organizations remain agile, have helped them remain in business and responsive in dynamic business environments. benefits. It also helps to achieve objectives and goals. Direct energy because of employee performance towards expectation, according to Avenis, and it provides clear guidelines, like a roadmap with respect to expected performance from personnel. We all know that the purpose of strategy evaluation and control is to examine again the effectiveness and efficiency of organizational strategy in achieving set goals and objectives. And also, it is the final stage in strategic management process to evaluate and control an organization's performance. Organizational management should ensure that the set strategies generate the performance necessary to achieve set goals. Necessary to achieve set goals and objectives. Strategic evaluation and control. Therefore, involve the activities and decisions that keep the process on, or that keeps the process on track. Evaluation and control include the follow-up on goal accomplishment and giving feedback to the decision makers on the results achieved so far. In conclusion, in this unit, we have learned that organizational strategy must be responsive to changing conditions after implementing a strategy. Strategic evaluation and control are necessary in order to keep the organizational strategy on track and to make adjustments for environmental changes. And in summary, we've learned also that in this unit you have been able to learn about strategic management control and evaluation. Its definition, the objectives, steps in strategic management, and evaluation process and benefits. When next we meet, we shall continue from strategic management planning. Then we'll talk about its scope and definition. We'll talk about the components, how mission statements are being formulated, action planning, why strategic planning fails, just to mention a few. Thank you for listening. Do have a fruitful day.